Welcome to a class of sentence patterns with Karen.
Hello. Today we will look at how many combinations of roles, how many combinations of sentence constituents can be found. And it's the verb that decides what we can have after a verb. So we start by looking at this one up here. We start by finding the verbal, which is sings. This is what you can put I or who or he or they in front of, in this case he. And then we ask who sings, and that's Peter who sings, so that's the subject. And then we can ask what does Peter sing, and he sings songs, so that's the direct object. And then I put two roles in parentheses, and that's because they are circumstantials that tell us about time, place, manner, and reason. And in this case, it is time. So we ask, when does he sing songs? And in this case, it is manner. How does he sing songs? But the verb can also exist without having a direct object. I could simply say, Peter sings. What does he do for a living? Peter sings. So that's also a possibility. Then we have a look at this one, where we've got wrote as a verbal, because we can put I or he in front of it. And we ask who wrote? Peter wrote. So that's the subject, the one that does the action. And then again we ask, what did Peter write? He writes a song. So that's the direct object. And to whom did he write the song? To his mom, which we call the indirect object. So the indirect object is always the receiver of the direct object. The order could also be switched so that we said Peter wrote his mom a song. But it would still be a verb that takes a direct object and an indirect object. Then we have this one up here, where we have is as the verbal. And what is, we ask, Peter's song is, so that's the subject. And then we ask, what is Peter's song? And in this case, it's not the direct object, it's the subject complement, because it describes the subject. You could put an equation between the two roles here, and to be can never take a direct object. It can only take subject complements or circumstantials. So this describes Peter's song in this case. It could also be Peter's song sounds beautiful. Peter's song feels beautiful, but it would still be the subject complement. And then we've got this one, which is not, this is not a very usual pattern. We have made as the verbal. Who made? Peter still made. What did he make? He made the song. And then we can ask, what did the song become? It is what we call an object complement. So this, it really means the song is a tribute to his mom. So something happens to the song, and the result is the object complement. So then we have the last example here. Put is the verbal. Who put? Peter put. And what did Peter put? The song, which is the direct object. Where did he put the song? On a CD, so that becomes a circumstantial of place. And this is actually an example of where the circumstantial is not, well, it is obligatory to use it. We cannot simply say Peter put the song. We need to know where did he put it. So sometimes the verb can also demand that you have a circumstantial. But normally the circumstantials can be removed without ruining the syntax of the sentence, but of course we need then the meaning of time and manner and place, and what we're not told when it happens if I take out the yesterday, but the sentence would still work. So these are the basic sentence patterns we can have, which means we can have subject verbal, we can have subject verbal direct object, subject verbal direct object indirect object, subject verbal subject complement, subject verbal direct object object complement, And then maybe sometimes we could also talk about an obligatory circumstantial, as we saw on a CD. Otherwise, the circumstantials can be added anywhere. This also means you cannot combine a direct object and a subject complement into the same, or with the same verbal. So the same verbal cannot combine these freely. Only these patterns exist.